Dear Lalit, greetings from summer 2020. This new decade has started unlike any other year that you and I have seen in our lifetimes. It has so far been dominated by an infection caused by a virus called coronavirus. I need to tell you about coronavirus so you can understand just how this virus has affected my life and the lives of everyone in the world. You may be surprised to hear that I'm a doctor who looks after children, and I work in the Accident and Emergency or A&E department of a children's hospital. This hospital is located in a city in northwest England called Liverpool, which is where the Beatles, remember the songs called Yesterday, Yellow Submarine and Michelle? Where they came from. Coronavirus is an infection which has swept across the whole world, infecting millions of people from Asia right through to South America. Remember reading about the plague in primary 3? Remember the story behind the ring a roses, a pocket full of posers, a tissue, they all fall down dead? Well, coronavirus is a disease caused by a virus which seems to be having similar effects on the human race as the plague did all those years ago. Perhaps a new nursery rhyme needs to be composed to remind us of coronavirus. The virus is spread between people through tiny water droplets from our noses and snot and our throats and spit when we cough or sneeze. It can also be passed on when we touch certain things, get the virus on our hands and fingers, and then touch our eyes, nose or mouth. You know what it's like when you're in primary school. Someone always has a cough or a snotty nose. You also already know that it's quite easy to spread germs between your classmates, and then also to our own families at home. Coronavirus can be passed on between people as easily as those germs that cause colds. Most of the time, coronavirus can make humans feel unwell with a fever, cough, and achy muscles. Unfortunately, sometimes the virus can make some people a lot sicker, and in some cases, die. Coronavirus can really damage lungs, and may lead to a person becoming very sick and need a machine to help them breathe. It can be much more serious than a simple sore throat and runny nose virus. I know you have already had a lot of colds in your life so far, but coronavirus could potentially be much more powerful than that. I am sorry to say that lots of people all over the world have already died from coronavirus. I know that sounds scary. It is like we have gone back to the medieval times of the plague. The good news is that children and young people do not seem to get very sick with this type of coronavirus. So I want to let you know that you should not worry about you becoming very sick. This is very unlikely to happen. However, most of the people with this coronavirus who have been sick or died were old or already had weak lungs or weak hearts. Health scientists around the world have also noticed a pattern that more brown and black people compared to white people have died. They are still trying to find out why. We still are learning about coronavirus, and scientists all around the world are working hard together to understand this deadly virus better. At the moment, there is no cure for coronavirus. Scientists are trying to create a vaccine or a jab to help protect people against coronavirus. Remember when you were having those injections in primary school from the school nurse and you got a sticker and an ice cream for being brave? Well, those injections or vaccines were to help keep you healthy by protecting you from certain infections. Hopefully, the clever scientists around the world can come up with an injection to keep us safe from coronavirus. Some universities in North America and in Europe have come up with a coronavirus vaccine, but it needs a science experiment to see if it really works. You may be proud to know that I have been brave too. I signed up to be a volunteer for that vaccine science experiment. This means that I have a coronavirus injection to see if it is safe and if it works. The clever scientists do regular blood tests and check-up appointments for me to get information for this important science experiment. I hope this new vaccine is successful, but we will only find out in a year's time. We must all be patient. What you and all of the children of the world need to do is to help protect people older than you by doing some simple things. Washing your hands regularly and keeping away from people as much as possible. We call keeping your distance from other people social distancing. As you know, the virus is spread in those little water droplets of snot and saliva, and from our hands. Washing hands and keeping far away from each other will reduce the chance of spreading the virus. I know that washing hands is a good thing, but we must try and do it much more often. Keeping away from each other, social distancing, is something which I know will be very unusual and difficult for such a friendly and enthusiastic boy that you are. A major change in your life will not be getting on the school bus and going to the school grounds. I know just how much you love your school time, learning and spending time with your friends. It breaks my heart to know how hard it will be not physically being with your teachers and your friends. As hard as it is being separated from, and I can't lie to you and say that it won't be, I can say that your school teachers will be as dedicated to their job to helping you learn as ever before. Computers are very different in the year 2020, and they can be used as a telephone, video, recorder, player, tape recorder, and for sending automatic letters. You'll be able to see videos and films of your teachers through the computer, and they will give you homework and lessons to keep you busy. Remember that even though you won't be able to play with and touch your friends, or use your hands on toys or equipment in the classroom, I promise there will be lots of interesting opportunities to learn and interact with friends and teachers using these special computers. You are enthusiastic and bright. I am sure you will rise to this challenge despite these difficult times of social distancing. Work hard, be good, wash your hands, and embrace this challenging but unique time. As you can imagine, as a doctor working in a hospital, I may come across children and families who might have coronavirus. A major way that my work as a doctor has changed is that I have to take extra precautions to protect patients, my work buddies, and myself from catching coronavirus. To achieve this, we have to wear a lot of different type of protective uniform called personal protective equipment, or PPE. This includes extra gloves, face masks, gowns, goggles, and aprons. This can vary on the type of patient that I see. The highest level of PPE looks like something out of the final scenes of the film E.T., and in a space where the humans are wearing those white spacesuit-like outfits to protect them from possible serious alien infections. Wearing PPE can be difficult to move, difficult to breathe in sometimes, very warm to wear, and can be a challenge to talk to my work buddies and patients and families while wearing them. Wearing PPE has been one of the hardest changes to my daily work. It is necessary, but undeniably difficult. Having to follow social distancing rules, i.e. not touching other people and keeping at least 2 meters apart, means that many people who don't live with other people won't have had their skin touched, kissed, or hugged for a very long time. I know that sounds odd, but just have a think how many times a day somebody pokes, punches, tickles, hugs, or even kisses you. It's a lot! It may surprise you that as a big person, I don't live with anyone. I do not have a wife or children living with me. This has meant that sometimes it has been difficult not being able to laugh, joke around, play fight like you do with your brothers, cousins, friends, and parents. I have lots and lots of friends, and I'm used to seeing them a lot. But the rules set by the government, like the rules that the government set when there is a typhoon in Asia, means that I'm not allowed to see them in person. This has also been one of the toughest things that I have had to do or had to endure during this global pandemic. I find human touch very comforting, like touching a puppy, which I know you love. So not being able to do this has been another very difficult thing for me. Now I know that you are a keen and budding musician. I have to tell you that music has been a real help to me during these times of PPE, constant hand washing, and social distancing. With my friends and my work buddies, I have developed a questionnaire based on pieces of music and songs. I have asked all of them to choose music or songs to represent a different category. For example, a song that makes you happy, a song that makes you sad, etc. Then over the phone or video camera through the computer, like in Star Wars, we talk to each other and share our stories about why we chose the songs we chose for the category. I cannot tell you how therapeutic it has been to talk about music and the memories that music brings. It has brought me closer to my friends and work buddies very much. I confess I've even chosen songs from my primary school years, like Madonna, and from composers that you already play on the piano and have seen in films like Mozart and Amadeus. As you know from your school teachers, it is important to have a healthy body as well as a healthy mind. I know how much you love to run and play with friends. I have also been very active to combat feelings of loneliness and sadness during these difficult times. I have done 30-minute PE lessons all by myself in the car park or in the living room using the video camera from the computer. I've also gone for walks in the park either before or after work. I've also done some muscle stretching and breathing exercises called yoga, which originally came from Hindu and Buddhist traditions of meditation and body awareness. I really enjoy doing this and find that it helps clear my head of a lot of worries. Remember that you must also play in addition to work during social distancing. It is so important to look after your mind, your body, and your soul. Since social distancing started, my work buddies and I have had to use the computer and video communication a lot more instead of meeting face-to-face or in person. We use different computer software called Microsoft Teams or Zoom. This allows us to have conversations with lots of people at the same time on a screen, kind of like the different compartments of the characters at the start of the Muppet Show. This has been quite useful because this means I can have meetings while sitting in my kitchen at home without having to go to the hospital. They call this working remotely, and this has been quite a novel development that has come out living and working during this coronavirus pandemic. As you can imagine, working as a doctor, nurse, or other professional in a hospital has been very challenging during this pandemic. As well as having meetings to discuss patient-related matters, we have also used the video meeting technology to look after and support each other. Every 2 weeks, our A&E department staff can come together for a meeting where we talk about our feelings and share stories of what it is like to work during such challenging times. We call this team time, and I have found this a really useful exercise to find out what my colleagues are upset about and to offer them support. I must advise you that your friends at school may also be experiencing difficult times. Remember to look out for them. Ask them if they are okay, and try and be in touch with your good friends using the telephone or video telephone through the computer. Sometimes it is okay to feel scared or sad as an adult or a child or young person. You are a kind young person, so I am sure supporting your friends and family members will come naturally to you. I hope this has given you some idea of what my life as a children's doctor in Liverpool is like. I have to think about my patients, their families, my work buddies, and my friends. I have to think about their physical safety as well as how they are feeling. However, I have also learned a lot about myself. I've learned that we don't always have to spend money to be happy. I have learned that I can be very content with the very simple things in life. I have learned that sometimes it is okay to be scared that coronavirus may make me or someone that I love very sick. I have learned to be patient and that cures or vaccines to coronavirus may take a long time to come into our lives. I've also been reminded about how important it is to be kind and compassionate to others, but that being kind to yourself will help you care for other people even better. I know you are a strong and determined person. My advice to you is to work hard, be kind, and stay safe. These are indeed unique and challenging times. However, life and love in a time of coronavirus really has and will continue to be one of the most memorable periods of your and my life, for reasons both good and bad. So embrace it, learn from it, and above all, be kind to yourself. And I would like to leave you with a song by the Beatles. It's a song of one of my favorite songs, but I don't think you know it yet. It's called All You Need Is Love. Yours sincerely, Lalit, your 40-year-old self.